Now, in a recent tutorial, I took you through the step-by-step process of these oil pastel peaches. It was a really fun still life. We kind of got to work like the masters and learn a lot about oil pastels. But at the time, I did not decide to tackle the background. Part of this was because my palette was really limited. I'm using the 12-piece introductory set. So I didn't have a color that I thought would work for the background. I wanted something neutral, but not too deep. However, after this was done, I just couldn't shake the feeling that this needed to be grounded further with a nice deep background and kind of get some moodiness in there. If you want to see this tutorial, I'll have that link down below, but for now, I'm going to talk you through the background. So let's talk about filling in this background. I was inspired by the reference image, but I obviously diverted from it. You can see it here up on the left, that it's much more complicated. I decided to simplify it because I wanted the peaches and the still life itself to be able to shine. But again, I wanted to ground it, give this a little bit more weight and just a little bit more presence and moodiness. So I'm starting in with this dark umber, this brown umber, and I'm just filling this in. I am going fairly heavy, especially around my subject, but you can see as I'm moving out, I'm fading it a little bit. So there's a little bit more white space within each stroke because I'm just trying to get a good wash of pigment down. And again, just letting it fade out because I know that it's going to go towards my light source and it's going to continue to get lighter. Here I'm just fussing with kind of the placement. I didn't like how it was going into the still life and I wanted it to be a little bit more in the background. And I'm just kind of blocking everything out, just really trying to get some pigment down, which I have discovered one of the keys to getting your oil pastels to blend well is to have enough pigment in order to do that so that it's not getting caught in the texture of the paper, so that it's able to move around a little bit. Now we're going in with pale blue and yellow ochre. These two are a go-to for me when I'm going for a neutral mid-tone color. They cancel each other out pretty well. They're both more saturated than I would generally go for something like this, but having kind of that warm goldeny yellow and the pale cool tone blue, they cancel each other out really well and it just creates a beautiful neutral tone. I also decided to repeat the yellow ochre on the walls as well, just to kind of warm it up a little bit. The burnt umber is just very cool tone. Yeah, very dark, and I really wanted there to be some warmth and some glow to this because it has kind of a fall theme with the peaches being done, so we're going for kind of late summer warmth, very homey. If this is something that I want to hang up in my house, I want it to kind of fit that feel. But in order to make sure that it's not too warm, I'm still applying some of our pale blue in certain areas. So the wall on the left I thought would have probably more of that natural light coming in, and so it needed to be a little bit cooler. Then comes the blending, and I didn't do anything fancy. I just used my fingers, and if I felt like it needed some, like it's not moving enough, that's when I went in and I added more pigment. And the more you go, the more you'll have a little bit built up on your hands, and you'll be able to kind of spread it out more. But you'll see there are different times where I just have to keep going in and adding more pigment. Now I'm getting kind of a good base. I am still planning to go in with white to further desaturate everything, to further help everything blend in a little bit more. But if I had some lighter colors or just a little bit more variety, I don't think I would have had to do that. But in this case, I wasn't quite getting the tone that I wanted without having the white in there. Now you could probably add the white in there along with everything and then mix it all together at one point. I haven't experimented with that as much. Maybe I think too much like a baker where I'm trying to make sure that certain things are really mixed in before I add in the eggs, so that I don't have to overmix things later or it's not as difficult to make sure that everything is blended and then I'm overmixing the white. And so I don't know, that's just kind of my thought process. I'm sure that you could experiment with other techniques. I probably will at a later date, but at this point I've just found I really like to get things kind of settled in and then add the white and remix everything, just so that the white is being added to kind of a pigment or a tone that's already together, if that makes sense. So if there's kind of a section that has a little bit more of the pale blue, that's already been dispersed a little bit, and so I don't have to disperse it when I have the white. I'm not sure if that's making any sense. That's been kind of my thought process and why I think it's working. I might be totally off base there. But again, I told you that we would go through this process of learning oil pastels together. This is what I've learned so far. All right, I finished aggressively rubbing on that wall section of this painting, and then I went in with the white. And I'm adding a light layer, not super light, but it's not heavy. You can still see that there's a lot of space, you can still see a lot of pigment through the white. I probably could have gone in a little bit heavier, and I did end up having to add more white here in a moment, as you can see right here. But I did want to be a little bit conservative to start, especially because I wanted to see how much pigment it would pick up and just how much I would need. I found I had to be pretty heavy, again, just to get enough pigment down in order to mix everything together and move it around to be what I wanted it to be. I also found that when mixing using either circular motions like this, or for sure switching the direction that you're moving in. So sometimes you'll see that I'm working side to side like here, and other times I'll shift the paper either more at a diagonal or I'll work top to bottom in order to help to blend everything together, similar to how you would with graphite. If you're working on a really smooth blend, you'll first start in one direction and then you'll move to a different direction, whether it's perpendicular or slightly off or diagonal, to get a smoother blend so that you don't have as much of the striping. Because I was a little bit conservative with the pigment, I probably could have gone in heavier, especially at the base. I ended with still having a little bit of the striping because I was moving mostly back and forth, as you can see. But yeah, I think if I had been less conservative with the pigment, but this was an experiment. I didn't really want to waste all of my oil pastel pigments on just an experiment that I wasn't sure was going to work. So maybe I'll go back in someday, but overall I end up being pretty happy with it. I just think if I were to go back in again, I'd probably do more circular motions and move it more at a diagonal on some of those areas, especially on the right-hand side. And now that we have the background in place just for this lower section, I am adjusting some of the values so that things don't get lost. So I want to make sure that the vessel that our peaches are in still stands out from the background that I've added in, and has enough contrast so that you're not losing it. I'll have to kind of keep tweaking that as we go, but that's just something that as you start to adjust one area, it usually calls on you to adjust another area. That's just part of the relativity of art. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this, but I think it's obvious. I sped up this video. So this is twice as fast as I was actually working. It only took me about 20 minutes, but I didn't think you wanted to see 20 minutes of me rubbing my fingers around. So we stuck with 10-ish minutes instead. Now, one nice thing about blending things out with your finger is that as my finger got dirty with doing the wall, I was able to use that to continue to blend out and add a little bit more of a shadow in, on the floor or the base or the table or whatever this is that we're working on. I did continue to add more of the burnt umber in here just because I really wanted it to have a little bit more of a shadow, looking a little bit more just like a deeper corner away from a window, and just have a little bit more of that depth. And even though I'm filling in the background, I'm still taking a moment to step back and look at the piece as a whole. So adding in highlights that were lost or shadows that were lost, adding in some of that contrast that we already talked about, and just trying to make sure that the piece is still working as a whole, even though I'm adjusting the background. And once that was complete, it was time to work on that last wall panel. I really wanted it to have a good gradient where it's getting a lot deeper as it's going in towards that corner. So I'm really focusing the application of the white on the right-hand side to where the window would be as I'm imagining it. And then it's just mixing it in. It was tricky to get everything all blended in, especially next to the peaches themselves, especially next to my subject. That I wouldn't say I did a perfect job. I definitely could go back in and lighten it a little bit more and blend it a little bit more, but it was a good, again, this was kind of just an experiment, so it was a good process and a good way to learn for me. But yeah, I definitely could have blended it a little bit more. I think I would have had to add a little bit more of the burnt umber to the area directly next to the peaches just to kind of get everything moving well there. But it worked okay overall. There's not too much of a halo in the finished product, but that was definitely something that I had to work at and continue moving. You can see I'm using these broad strokes to try and smooth everything and make it look a little bit more like a wall. Another thing that I've found, especially with these oil pastels, because they are very soft, and I can't speak for other oil pastels because I don't have a lot of experience with them, to be perfectly honest. But because these are so soft, sometimes I've found that there are benefits with waiting to continue adjusting one area, especially if it's starting to kind of move the pigment off the paper and get a little bit sparse or bald, for lack of a better term, to just like walk away from it for a little while and then come back, add another layer of pigment, and blend that all in. I find that it just seems to layer a little bit better if it's had time to set. Now, oil pastels, as I'm sure that you know, never fully set, but I've just found that they're more workable. So I found that with landscapes, I don't add the clouds in until after I've given the sky, the base, the color, the gradient is down, and I've given it some time to set, and then I go in and I work on adding some clouds over the top, or maybe adding a little bit more color. And I found that true with this wall as well. So I wanted to add a little bit more of a gradient on the left-hand side, but I waited a while so that everything was blended, but then I could, kind of blend in the additional colors over top of the gradient, whether it was more of the burnt umber or some of the white. It just blended in a little bit better without removing all of the pigment that I'd placed down. And the final step was to add in those cast shadows again, make sure that those were nice and deep so that it really grounded our piece, and we were done. Anyway, I hope that you found this tutorial helpful, that you learned a little bit more about oil pastels. If you'd like to see more oil pastel tutorials, both tip videos like this and full step-by-step tutorials, I'll leave that playlist down below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button on your way. Until next time, happy drawing!